Hello, guys. Today I'm interviewing boxing trainer Robert Hodgins. He trains the British heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley, Gideon Jones, and Ryan Copeland. And my first question for you is, um, how, why did you want to be a boxing trainer?
Basically, I used to box as a kid. I moved down to Ipswich from London back 2005. I started to want to box again. Realised that I couldn't handle the training as much. It was so hard to get back into it. So I kind of got into like taking classes and started training boxers from an amateur back in about 2005.
Yeah. And how long have you been training your boxers for?
Oh, I've been training Fab for 7 years since he started on the white collar scene. I trained Ryan for about 9 years, and Ryan used to box amateur before he went to the white collar scene. And me and Gideon have been training for about 2 years on and off.
Yes. So we will start. So Gideon Jones, of course, coming into the year, he was undefeated, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was undefeated. Yeah, he was undefeated till I think it was July. October this year. He was undefeated. He took on another undefeated fighter called Billy Jackson. Yes, in a 50-50 fight. Gideon had to make weight. He wasn't, no excuse to Billy. Billy performed very well, but Gideon was fighting a super welterweight. He had to drop a lot of weight for the day. And he kind of like those 8 rounds took its toll on his body. So he was like, that was his first loss.
But he did put up a good fight.
Yeah, he put up an amazing fight. I was going to pull him out the round of round 6 because he was so exhausted, but he turned around and said to me, "No, I want to continue." And he come out there and he finished. To be fair, he finished quite strong.
He did, and I think he lost it. I think he lost. No offense to both of you, I thought it was a fair result, but yeah. I thought 77-75 was fair.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that's much. He knows it wasn't his best performance, but on the back of that performance, after that, everyone wanted to fight Gideon because he had a loss. So it got him 2 big opportunities to fight on 2 big shows. Yeah, on TV. Both were on TV. Fought on a Pro Bedlam show in Sheffield against.
He told me, because I've interviewed him, that he was an Olympian.
Yeah, he fought an Olympian. I think it's Hector. I can't remember his second name. Concealer, very good Brazilian gold medalist, very good boxer. We took the fight. No one expected us to go there and even survive. And Gideon went there and gave a very good account of himself and went the whole 6 rounds and lost on points, which could set him up another fight on a Matchroom show, which was Fabio's undercard and Dylan White's undercard on November 26th against Mark Dickinson.
Yes. And that fight against Mark was, again, very close. I still can see maybe in the new year that Gideon could go for a southern area.
I think so as well. I think Gideon, so with boxers, and everyone does hide behind like a padded record. Like if they keep fighting people that, that come over, maybe someone from Latvia, someone from here, and they build up their record, which is the right way to learn. But Gideon's at the stage where he just wants to fight anyone, and it doesn't matter if he wins or lose, he wants to be in with the best. And his last 2 fights, a gold medalist and Mark Dickinson, who was a very talented amateur who's got a big career ahead of him, so he has done, so these 2 fights haven't done him no harm. He's lost on points on both, but his rankings have gone up, and he's put himself on the map now. People are starting to talk about Gideon.
Yeah. And so when can I expect him to be back out fighting?
Well, there's a few options with Gideon. It's kind of a tough one, really. It's kind of like, do we, I don't want Gideon to go on the trail of keep losing and putting him in against people that are a lot more experienced than him. But I don't want Gideon doesn't want to take easy fights. So it's we're kind of in a bit of a toss up. Really, we need to find the best fight for Gideon, but Gideon wants a hard fight, but like a proper 50-50 on a big show and getting back to winning ways, I think would suit Gideon very well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Of course, Ryan has had an injury, hasn't he?
Yeah, poor Ryan was due to fight twice this year. He rolled his ankle back in the summer on the week of his fight, so we rescheduled the fight.
And something happened on the week of his fight with his thumb, I think.
Yeah, he had an accident at work where his hand went into a machine and he's lost part of his finger. So yeah, so he's recovering very well, a lot ahead of schedule. So he lost a part of his finger. It's a very bad injury, but he's back in the gym and he's training hard and he's back, to what he's doing best.
So when can I expect him back out? March, April?
Well, I think Ryan, we're going to head for possibly May, June this year, getting back in. Ryan is 36 years of age now, 37. He needs to be back in the ring as many times as he can this year. So we're looking for May, June with Ryan.
Yeah, because you've got to try and move him a bit quickly now.
Very quickly. Yeah, we've got to move him quickly. And the thing is, Ryan lives the life. He's super fit. He's ready to jump in with anyone at a drop of a hat, and he knows time's against him. But he's one of the fittest boxers in the gym, and he will be, back out, with full shield this year.
What fight do you think he's performed his best in?
There was a tough journeyman called Kev McCauley. Ryan fought, and Kev McCauley is not one of those journeymen that come to run and survive. He come to win, and every time Ryan hit him with a good shot, he come back and started going for Ryan. So Kev McCauley is a very, very underrated journeyman. I think he's retired now, Kev.
Yes.
He's had about maybe 300 fights, but no one. Kev McCauley was a very, very tough guy, hardly ever stopped, always went the rounds, and I think when he bought it to Ryan bought back to him, and I think it was one of the fights of the night. So Ryan, yes, that was one of Ryan's toughest opponents.
And Ryan's signed with Steve Goodwin, isn't he?
Yep, he's been Goodwin Promotions. He's been with Goodwin Promotions for the past couple of years. Obviously, with COVID, it's put us behind a little bit, but we're back, to winning ways with Goodwin.
Is Gideon signed with Gideon Jones? Sorry, is he signed with Victor Smith? Isn't it?
Yeah, well done. That's very good there. Victor Smith Promotions. Yeah, he's with Victor Smith, even though Gideon's fought on the Pro Bellum card and the match room. He's with Victor Smith. Victor Smith is his manager and promoter, and he gets him, he's a very good manager, gets him what he wants, he doesn't care if it's on his shows or on away shows. He wants to get Gideon the best fights out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure Gideon will pile quite a few wins on the TV. Well, fingers crossed anyway.
I hope so. I think he's got a big year ahead of him now. I think his name's in the mix now. People know who he is. He hasn't done himself any harm. So I think we will be seeing Gideon on the telly quite a few times, fingers crossed, this year.
Yes, let's hope so. Have you got any amateurs coming through?
I have a few amateurs coming through. Basically, where we are, it's an amateur, but we do, some of these guys that have never fought before do white collar shows that are actually under our building as well. So we do amateur and we do white collars, but we've got some good boxers coming through our gym, very young boxers. We have a few female boxers. We have a girl called Eilish, and we have a couple of young boxers by the name of Asaya, who's Fabio Wardley took under his wing. George Ball and another guy called Jacob. Very good. You'll be hearing about them in the next few years. They've got a big future ahead of them.
So will they turn pro in the next 3 years?
I think so. I think they're going to obviously get their stuff done in the amateurs first. They've got some business in the amateurs that they need to do. They're going to learn their trade in the amateurs. And when the time's right, they're all very young. They're all under, some of them are under 21 still. So there's no rush at all, especially in this day and age. There's no rush at all. So we're going to take our time and make sure it's the right opportunity for them to turn over.
Yes. But what's the difference between amateur and white collar?
There's a massive difference with it. 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't turn pro if you had any white collar bouts, and rightfully so. The way to do something was you had to go learn your trade through the amateurs, maybe win a couple of national titles, compete for the ABAs, maybe box for England if you get lucky enough to box for England. But this day and age now is if you're a very good white collar guy and you hold your own, you can, turn over pro. It has been proven, as if you know, with Fabio Wardley. He had 3, 4 white collar bouts, and now he's British champion.
So what would you recommend to, like, if anyone wanted to be a boxer? What would you recommend? Go to the white collar scene or the amateur scene?
No, I grew up through the ABA background, so I personally think any young kid taking up boxing is to go through the amateur scene. The amateur is the best and possible route. It's not done as much as now, but it's the best and possible route for any youngster wanting to do boxing. I think that should be the best way to go down that route. But having said that, it has been proven to go through the white collar. There is some tasty, great white collar boxers up and down the country that have turned over professionally and are holding their own and are doing very, very well. Also, they've had, some of them have both amateurs and white collar bouts. So it's a case of, like, if you're good and you work hard, no matter which background you come from, you're going to do very well in boxing if you carry on down that route. But obviously for someone young like yourself or some young kid coming through, I would suggest the amateur scene is the best way to go.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And so Fabio Wardley, of course, he won the British title in great fashion, didn't he?
Yep, he won it against Nathan Gorman last month in end of November in three rounds. Yes, so he won that. Yeah,
I think Wembley Arena, was it?
Yeah, Wembley Arena. I think it was the 26th of November. Wembley Arena on the Dylan White undercard. Dylan versus Jermaine Franklin. Yeah.
Yes, and no offense, I thought it would have gone longer, because.
Well, that's the thing with Nathan Gorman. If I was Nathan Gorman's trainer, and Fabio's not been past 5 rounds, and he's super fit, Fabio, but they don't know Fabio well. I thought as a tactic to come out and fight with Fabio was the wrong tactic, because if you come for Fabio, he's going to bring it backwards and he will, end it. So if I was them, I would have slowed it down, maybe took it to 5 or 6 rounds, then maybe up the tempo then. But Nathan come out firing, and he had a very good first round. He come out firing, and that just woke Fabio up, and Fabio thought, okay, cool, we're gonna bite down on this gum shield and we're gonna have it out there.
Yeah, and he's won the British title now, so I'm sure he will be looking to defend his title. Like, I don't know, would it be against like a Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher, David Adelaide?
That's a very good question, my young friend. Dave Allen's not been in the mix for a long time. He's a very good boxer, and he's been there and proved it, and he's fought at the highest caliber, but he's not boxed for nearly 2 years now. Johnny Fisher's a very good friend of ours as well, so I would like to fight Johnny Fisher. Also, Johnny would admit openly that he's got his own path at the moment. He wants to go and try and win the English title, which he deserves. David Adelaide obviously has been calling Fab out. I don't think David Adelaide has earned the rights. He's a good boxer, he's strong, but he's, to jump straight into a British title, we've had to work hard for, we had to work hard.
The English as well, haven't you?
Yeah, if we get the white collar tag, Fabio does, but he still had to go through and box all these people. He's had to box for the English against Simon Viali, and he's had to box another 5 times since then. Then he's had to go out and fight
Webb as well. With Nick Webb. Nick Webb did wrong as well. He came out firing, but Fabio got him out in the first.
In the first game, that's the worst thing. If you try to punch out Fabio, that's what he likes. So it's a very
fire for them.
Yeah. It wakes him up. But with David Adelaide, I don't think David is You know, I don't think he's ready to be in with someone like Fabio. He could be in the future, but also for him to jump up and fight for the British title when he's not even competing for an English title, maybe him against Johnny Fisher for the English, and see what happens from there. Even them two guys, you know, there's a lot of people around that mix that are not up to the British title. They haven't earned it yet. You've got, you know, David Adley could fight Solomon Das. You know, there's a lot of people around that side as well. Also, you know, he's improving and he's in a rush.
Nick Webb is still up there. He's a hard fight for anyone, but he just got his tactics wrong against Fabio.
Yeah, he did. To be fair, he come out guns blazing. He come out and he hit Fabio with a shot. And Fabio thought, right, cool, you know, come back out. Fabio just started to put the pressure back on him, caught him with a couple of shots, and then that was history there.
Yes. What about the Eric Molina fight?
Oh, that was a good fight. Eric Molina fight was in Gibraltar, once again on the Dillon undercard against Pavotkin 2. We thought Eric Molina is a very, very wily old fox. He's been in there the best. He's been with Deontay Wilder. He's been in with Anthony Joshua, and what he does was he knows how to old man you. When I mean the term old man is he'll slow everything down, he'll hold, he'll complain, and that as well. But what he done was he was you know, walking around not doing anything, like he done with Deontay Wilder. Quick step back, boom, big right hand, and caught Fab with the right hand. When he caught Fab with the right hand, he went for it. Molina, he saw his opportunity. Fab dug down on the gumshoe again, fought back with Molina, and then ended it in that round. It seems to be a pattern of Fab's fight. Yeah, it seems to be a pattern of Fab's fights. You hit him with a good shot, later on in that round, you end up getting, you know, taken out yourself.
Yes. But would you like, if there's no one at British domestic scene, would you go for like a Commonwealth as well? Because there's more options.
I think so. I think that there's a lot of good young British heavyweights around the scene that need to sort business out with each other at the moment. They need to fight each other. Fab's proven his point. He's got rid of this white collar tag, which we put to bed now. And, if we don't get to defend the British, I think to go for a European or Commonwealth, would be a very good shout, to go. There is some good European level fighters out there that our name's been thrown with, and they're also on the same rankings on the world level as Fab. So possibly that could be maybe our next step if we don't defend the British.
Who else did Fabio beat? He beat what's he called? Mards, was it?
Martz. I forgot his name. Martz, very good guy. Canadian heavyweight, very tall. I'm trying to forget his first name now. Ward, gonna kill me now. Martz, yeah, I think it's Stephen Martz. He come out, but he was very good. He come and he gave Fabio a good first round. Then Fabio took him out in the second round. So
I think that you've done well with Fabio. You've been matching him well, and and you've got what you've deserved, these titles. And I'm sure Gideon and Ryan will have a few titles as well. So you'll have next time we do this, I'm sure you'll have quite a load of titles with your fighters around their weight. You'll just have all of them, mate, which will be good.
And that's the plan. Ipswich is a very small place for boxing. They have a lot of talent in Ipswich, but they're not on the map yet. So maybe, Fab is very big down at Ipswich at Portman Road at the moment. So maybe one day the dream is to get a fight in front of everyone in the Ipswich fans, and maybe getting Ryan and Gideon on that undercard there would be fantastic.
That'd be class, but you'll be very busy on that night, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there'll be no rest. I'll be able to no rest on the fight after, but it'd be a dream come true for all three boxers and myself, really.
Yes, mate. So I know you're the head trainer, but is there other people who help you?
Yeah, I have a team of. It's very hard because I have a team that help me with Fabio. So with Fabio, we work with Ben Davison. Do you know Ben Davison?
Yeah,
Ben Davison.
He trains Lee Wood. Royston,
Yeah,
Barney Smith, and more.
brilliant. That's good words. But Ben was a massive part of our team for Fabio's fight. He was one of the massive reasons we won. So Ben works with Fabio closely and myself, and he's a great addition to the team. With Ryan and Gideon, I do have some guys that help me up here. So at the moment, but at the moment it's just mostly me. So Ryan's trained with another boxing coach called Sakaski. Sakaski, who helps train Ryan, but Sak's very good with the amateurs. All the best amateurs in Suffolk he works with, so he works with them, and he also works with Ryan and myself. So Sak is, one of Ryan's head coaches, and at the moment with Gids, it's just me and Gids at a moment with some other guys that are helping out, just coming along.
Yes. And before I let you go, do you have any advice for someone who wants to be like a trainer?
Yes, just sit there with training it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of time of your life. You've got to make sacrifices. You've got to be able to go up and down the country on the drop of a hat. The best thing to do as a trainer is just pick up as much, watch trainers that you respect and you admire, and just sit there quietly watching them, taking notes, see how they do it, see how they're coaching their boxers, but not just see how they talk to their boxers. I think sitting there and listening to the best trainers and picking up advice is the best. I think that's helped me along the years.
Yes. And thank you for your time, Robert. It's been a pleasure, and keep the
No,
good
thank
work
you.
up.
You're a very knowledgeable young man. You know your stuff. Well done. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you, mate. Anytime. Bye,
You
mate.
take care, my friend. Bye.